Okay, so today's Tanya. Today is, what's today? It's Beth, the 12th of Iyar. So today's Tanya is a very beautiful thing. Yesterday we were speaking about this idea of Asher Kedishanu b'mitzvayso. That Hashem made us holy through His mitzvahs. And the idea of holiness is that whenever we do a mitzvah, Hashem kind of unites with us. So let's say I'm putting on tefillin, so the energy, whatever that is, of my hand, the divine energy comes into maybe my spiritual hand, my physical hand. Just talking about this concept, it reminded me that Baal Shem Tov says that tzaddikim, if they were ever sick, they would think about the spiritual thing. I don't know, so if it's the eyes, think about maybe what I could rectify in the eyes, maybe seeing, the heart, maybe emotions. So this famous story with Baal Shem Tov that he once went to somebody, and this person was very ill. I think they couldn't speak, so the Baal Shem Tov said that they should make like a meat soup. They made a meat soup, and he started to speak. So he asked the doctor, was a big doctor there, he was a Jewish guy, he said, I knew that this person doesn't even have like the vocal cord. It's not even possible that so how did you heal him? Baal Shem Tov said, you tried to heal the body, but I spoke to his neshama, and he did shuvah, and that kind of healed him. In fact, I asked my father, who translated the book Healthy in Mind, Body, and Spirit, I think, which is basically 3 books of the Rebbe on health, effectively. Also the last book on mental health. So I asked him, what is the bottom line, like from everything the Rebbe says? So of course the Rebbe is supportive of preventative health, of listening to doctors. A doctor is a friend. That's kind of the standard thing. But he said that it's like the health of our soul affects the health of the body, right? The Alter Rebbe said a small hole in the soul is a big hole in the body. So, and you see clearly that the Rebbe had a belief that per a yid that does Torah mitzvahs, there's this correlation. And then also, if we go to it on a deeper level, that is connected to, push a feeling better, like we're talking about alpha frequency, just feeling less stress. These are very important things. I think that, kind of they call it these days self-care, but definitely doing things that are good for the body, whether it's exercise, eating healthy, even just, whatever, a nice shower, just feeling good. These are very important things because the person because the stress takes our frequency to one level. And you can't not have stress in life because you have stress actually focuses a person. So do this, without stress, the person would do nothing. But on the other hand, you have to have moments of de-stressing. And that's the key, to look at it in that way, because people are just looking for I want a stress-free life, right? I'm going to retire. Everyone's looking, okay, how am I going to create a stress-free life? But a stress-free life is a meaningless life. Because if you're not stressing, my bubby, she's a big tzaddik, she would always say, Shula Shifra Ben Elchanan, she would always, was it Elchanan Yitzchak or Elchanan? She would always say, Yitzchak Elchanan, she would always say that Hashem, give me kahala shadaigas, give me the worries of the klal. Don't give me personal worries, whatever, financial worries, health worries of children. Give me that I should be worried about klal Yisrael, that this should be my worry. What am I going to do to save the world, make the world a better place? But a person has to have some kind of worry. If they don't have any worry, so ironically, so much of us is about trying not to engage with stress, but stress is actually very productive if a person is in control of their stress. A lot of that has to do with the idea of das. Das is to care, right? So the Rebbe speaks a lot about this idea of the last mimer, which is basically if everything's good, spiritually, financially, health, you have everything you need. But still you have to have a little bit, something is bothering you, which is not, basically you have to feel a certain state of anxiety, if you want to call it. The Mashiach isn't here already, because you need to have something. You see it very clearly. We're living in Israel. Israelis are in 1 second, tell them to do something, it's done, right? Because a person who's feeling a little bit of stress is a little bit of more stress or less stress doesn't bother them anymore. So people that are very calm, they don't want to get themselves into a state of stress. And this is the big mistake in the West, that societies, and this is how civilizations fall apart, because everybody's calm. So therefore, they don't want to get themselves out of that state. They like being calm. But ironically, being too calm doesn't produce anything. So you have to have, ideally you should be kind of calm, but you also should be able to create within yourself a certain tension, like, oy vey, Mashiach isn't here. Or in a certain sense, I think it's about caring, the tchun of das, because when a person has das, then they just care, and from the place of caring, they do. So it's very important for a person to be in that state. Let's say a parent does so much for a child, right? Because they care about the child. So caring is a very important state that a person has to be in. Now, the other thing is that a person needs times, moments of de-stressing, and that's really how Yiddishkeit is structured. It's Rotzei V'Shuv. Alter Rebbe says that all of Yiddishkeit is Rotzei V'Shuv. So you have Shabbos, you have the weekday. So if a person can truly enjoy Shabbos, then the week will be a better week. It's very important to have times. We even find it from, I think, Sadi Goyen and the Baal Shanta says a person should take pleasure in life. You know, sometimes we have this idea, no, you can't take pleasure. No, you should actually enjoy your food. Enjoy yourself. Why? Because if you're enjoying yourself, then the other times of life are going to be less stressful. And certainly if you're enjoying it because for a higher intention, which is I want to have a good life in order to serve Hashem better, then it's okay. It's only a problem if you're just addicted to pleasure. But if you're doing it with an intention, so then it gives your body joy and happiness. And then in the more stressful times that are less joyful, you've balanced it out. As I said many times, like water. You know, if you want to make cold water hot, you put in some hot water. So you're balancing your emotions. And that's really what life always is about. It's about balancing emotions, and all emotions kind of get balanced through other emotions. And again, one of the big mistakes, kind of this video that we're putting out, but one of the big mistakes in life is that people are looking for the stable emotional state. I just want to get happy. But it's like not a reality, because different emotions are going to come out in different times. And the way you overcome darkness is not by saying, oh, why did it get dark? It's not fair that it's dark, but by turning on the light. And so the way we deal with life is not by going backwards and being upset or, God forbid, vengeance. It's actually by going forward. But you say, okay, what does this teach me? What do I have to do now? So as long as a person's in that mode, now the nature of human being, many people, they're very kind of passive. So if something happens, they get upset about what, but in fact, a friend of mine is a very bright guy. He said that, happiness comes from resilience. In fact, it's interesting, in Israel's been rated from the happiest countries in the world. And you could say, why are they so happy? They have got all these issues, and it could be financially difficult. You've got terrorism, this and that. But I think if a person's resilient and a person has strength of character, they know that they can go out and do things. So there's a lot of like self-worth, because a person's, like many people in the West, they're just waiting for the government to save them, right? So it's not a reality. It's never going to make only when we accomplish, as I like to say, only by doing good do we feel good. So that's just a side Hasidic commercial. And now we're going to speak about the Tanya. So the Tanya says that when a Yid does a mitzvah, Hashem basically comes into them. And that's why the tzaddikim, when they did a mitzvah, they would actually, they would perceive this spiritual connection. So that's what it says, you can see the future in your own life. They literally could see, I don't know what kind of light, energy. I don't know if you ever saw, there's a very interesting video, fascinating. There's a Russian guy that made a very interesting machine that can read auras. It's amazing. Auras. We all have an aura. And like the spiritual aura, kind of the highest aura is purple. And so if you blow a shofar, you'll see the aura turn around from green to purple. Or you say a Dvar Torah, you see the aura literally changing. Tefillin, you'll see the aura changing. So we see clearly that doing a mitzvah literally brings a certain aura, brings a certain energy onto the person. Now, do you want to say something?
No.
Yeah. Now the person doesn't necessarily see this, but it's real. It literally happens. And so therefore, maybe when Mashiach comes, we're going to see this, and it will give us tremendous joy. Oh wow, I do a mitzvah, this happens. Like you'll see now, you do it, but the fact that you don't see it doesn't mean it's any less real. That's what the Alter Rebbe says. A Jew on Shabbos has to be very careful with Shabbos. Why? Because on Shabbos, like the king came into your house, or the Shabbos queen, she's there. So imagine the queen is there, but you're ignoring her. It's not nice. So Shabbos, doing the mitzvahs of Shabbos, celebrating Shabbos, or all these mitzvahs, they're automatic realities. It's not like, oh, if I do this, I'm a good boy. No, Shabbos has arrived. We all know the famous story, I think, was the Halak Eruzhner, where somebody wanted to know, I think, the time of Shabbos. He said, what do you mean the time of Shabbos? Like the clouds are different, like they saw, or the river sounds different. So they saw Shabbos in the world. The Chayim v'Levracha.